Sean?
Your practice approach today looked a little more intense than usual. What is the approach this week?
It was even more intense yesterday. And I want to get a look from up top just on how guys are competing. I think we can compete a lot harder than we have been, and I think that's the difference in tight games. Just having a will. It's we have skill, but we need to play with more will. Will always outduel skill. Every day of the week, and the team we're going up to play this weekend works really hard. They're heavy. They come at you hard. They play downhill, and we're going to have to compete a lot harder than we have been if we're going to have any success this weekend. So it's all about competing this week. It's all about playing hard and evaluating who wants to play the hardest.
Obviously not the start you guys want. How do you not let frustration set in?
Well, you see, we all you can do is draw on experience, right? At this point, after 10 games last year, we played CC and we were 3-6-1. Here we are, 3-6-1 again. Never in a million years that I thought that would be our record, but it is our record. So we have to draw on experiences, and there's a lot of good things that I think we're doing. There's a lot of positives, but we still have yet to piece together really a complete team game. When I say that, it's like, to use a football analogy, it'd be like your offense, can't move the ball, but your defense is stopping the ball, or vice versa, or maybe your special teams stink. You talk about all three phases, and with us, we haven't put every phase of the game together yet. Last weekend we did it in stretches. We had great goaltending all weekend. The power play was really good Friday. It didn't get it done for us Saturday. We didn't get a big kill there in the second on Saturday. So it's just piecing together a complete game and a complete team effort that we haven't been able to do yet. And at the end of the day, that's on me. And I think that, in order to do that, you have to compete for 60 minutes. You have to compete, and that's, at the end of the day, you can talk about so many things with this game, but the most important thing is winning your battles, winning your races, and just wanting the puck more than the other team. It's a really simple game when you break it down, and that's what we're trying to do for the guys this week, and making sure we go on there Friday and we give it our best competitive effort that we have of the season.
Last time you guys played Nodak as an unranked team, and they were number 6 in the country, was in Vegas in 2023. What do you think for guys like Smolin and Dowd who are a part of that team can kind of just bring that same energy back to the
Yeah, I mean,
squad?
similar. Again, another similar circumstance where, they I think they were 5th in the country when we went up and played them, and played in front of more of their fans up there than we will this weekend. There was 18,000 of them in Vegas, and this weekend there'll be 13,000. So we're excited. We're excited to go to the Ralph for the first time as a program. It's obviously a tremendous venue with a tremendous program and fan base, and so we're excited to go up there. And when you go into those type of environments, you have to use it to your advantage. You have to understand that right now, outside of our room, there's not many people that think we can go up and have success. We know we can. We know what we're capable of still, and we believe in what we're capable of still. And you got to draw on experiences, and we've gone in the road into situations like these before, in tough environments, and had success. And we believe that we can on Friday.
You almost say on both nights last weekend. What did you see out of him overall?
He just competed, right? I think if our guys competed half as hard as Herbs did all weekend, we probably would have had 2 wins. And Saturday it was, like I said after the game, and then watching the tape and tearing apart the numbers, it was a really evenly played game. Herbs played so well. He should have had a shutout. I mean, we took a really dumb penalty at the very end of a kill that put us down 4 minutes straight, and we just couldn't get all the way through it. I think they scored with 17 seconds left on it. And then we put it in our own net. I mean, it just went off Dowder's stick. It was a great tip, just in the wrong net. So two things that are completely controllable and self-inflicted that beat us, that we have to cut out of our game, and I know we will moving forward. But the game was winnable. We played it to be winnable. It was a kind of a teeter-totter stalemate both ways. They played a really good road game for CC, but it was a winnable game. And at the end of the day, both goalies played really well. I thought both goalies played well enough to earn a win. They got the bounce off Dowder's stick, and that was the difference.
What is it like seeing a freshman in his 3rd and 4th game playing like that with that type of intensity? And how do you think the rest of the freshmen can kind of try to match that?
Yeah, I mean, we want the whole team to match it, and you know, when you have a goalie that's kicking and really competing and has some swagger, it starts to filter out to the rest of the team, and that's what we're hoping happens. But with Herbs, it's not a surprise. You know, he's a seasoned goalie that's played on big stages in the World Juniors twice, and different international events for Slovakia. So, you know, he's not going to go to any environment and be intimidated. He's been on a big stage, and if you know the kid like we do, he's just, you know, he's got no pulse in a good way. You know, he's got a ton of swagger to him, and so it was a great weekend there from him, and there's going to be plenty more of those ahead. And we still believe in Haz in every way, and Haz is going to get his time, and he's going to have his games where he wins for us. So we're you know, I think the goaltending position is right now the least of our worries.
Is Herbs gonna start Friday?
TBD. You know, we don't know. We're going to figure it out. You know, it's everything's on the table right now from the net out.
He was just the last one on the ice in practice today, just working on drills by himself.
Who's that? Cruz?
Herbs.
Oh, Herbs, yeah.
Yeah, what can you say about him, just like, beyond his play on the ice?
He just works. Like he's just a pro. Like he's got this vibe that the guys want to be around him, you know, and he's an infectious kid in such a positive way that I know that it's just gonna pick up more steam and kind of filter into the rest of the group, you know. So he works hard. He's usually the first one here almost every day. In the gym, going through his routine and his pre-practice routine and doing what he has to do. He takes a pro approach, and you can see it pay off in his results.
You mentioned the mistake from Dowd, the unfortunate bounce on his end. He wasn't in the lineup Friday night.
Yeah.
Went into that decision on him.
He wanted him reset that. Outside of that one mistake, he played a really good, steady game, you know, and that's what we need out of him as an upperclassman. And on most nights, our oldest D in our lineup, we just need him to be reliable and steady and move pucks, and then everything else from there will trickle downhill, and he'll start to make plays and get his confidence. But that's just a mistake that you know, I don't really know what goes through, you know, a kid's head when they shoot a wrist shot with no traffic in front, and you try to get a stick on the puck. I think obviously he would love to have that mistake back, and I've never seen him do that before. It was just one of those things, and man, it hit the heel of his blade and just perfectly went to where the only place it couldn't go if you're us, and it was one of those things. It's a bad bounce that right now is going against us, and it is what it is. But it's on us to change. You earn your luck in this game. That's why it's such a great game. It's an honest game. Hockey's the almost honest game there is, and you earn your puck luck. You know, and even on Friday, I thought, you know, with the way that our guys, the resolve that we showed, we know it's there. The way we came back and tilted the ice in the second period after really having our worst period of the season, getting down 3. I think we earned the bounce that ended up on Shim's stick to tie it. You know, it's just the way this game works, and so we got to continue to go. We got to continue to compete and believe in what we have, because we do. We've been here before. Like I said, just a year ago, we were 3-6-1, and not a person in the world thought we could go to Denver and have success. And I don't think there's many people outside of a room that think we're going to go to North Dakota and have success.
Do you think a mistake like that is just guys trying to do too much to snap out of the funk?
I couldn't tell you, honestly. Like, you know, it's just one of those things where he's probably sees the puck and he maybe he saw green pastures in front of him and open ice and thought he could you know, just kind of knock it down and go. But I, you know, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I don't even address it with him, because it's hockey. It's a bounce. It's a mistake, and you know, I know it's a tough one for anyone to make that makes it, and the last thing you want to do is ride a kid when they make a mistake like that. It wasn't an intentional thing. You know, I'm more upset about the penalty that Tucker took to put us down an extra man than anything.
It's the second year in a row you'll be facing an ex-player on no deck in the crease. Were there any emotions that you noticed with your team who played with TJ last year?
You mean Gibby?
Yeah.
Gibby. Oh, yeah.
Played TJ last
You
year.
don't know. I mean, look, like it's, you know, we knew we had two really good goalies coming in. And Gibby could have come back, and so we have no ill will towards Gibby. He wanted to go and get a fresh start somewhere else, and we're happy for him. I'll always cheer for kids like him as long as we're not playing them. So anytime I can see a game and he's in net, I'm cheering for him. He's a good kid. He's a great human being. We know how good he can be when he's hot, so if he goes Friday, we'll be ready.
When you played against TJ last year, were there any advantages that you had because you had seen him in the crease so many times?
I don't think so. I mean, they're both great goalies. They both did a lot of really good things here when they were at ASU. But we know where we think we can expose everybody that we play through pre-scouting and video, and so it's really no different. Maybe a little bit more than others because we've seen him play so much, but we also know how good he can be. He when he's on and he's playing on top of his game, he's a really tough goalie to beat. So we'll see how she goes.
Flight delays have been a pretty hot topic so far, and this is your third road trip of the season. Has there been any discussion throughout the department as a whole as to how to deal with potential either delays or cancellations across the
No, not really. Obviously, it's a concern for us this weekend. We're fortunate because we're going to charter up, so it won't affect us this weekend. But moving forward, it's obviously something that we're going to have to look at. I think that when we go east, like we went to Miami, we leave on Wednesday just in case there's any sort of travel difficulty to give you a buffer. But with this, we're not too concerned, and then we won't go back on the road for well over a month, because we're home against Ohio State and Denver, and then we have a week off, and then we go to Duluth, and then we're done for the semester. So for us right now, we're just focused on winning hockey games.
You have quite a schedule gauntlet ahead of you this next few series. Does the approach change at all with having such a young team and trying to ready them for that?
It's just one game at a time. You have no choice. I mean, our schedule this first half is wow. It's going to be interesting to see where our strength of schedule ranks after Duluth. But if you look at what we have 6 in Nodak, and then we're back home against 5 Denver, and then home against 17 Ohio State, and then on the road against 3 Duluth. So we're going to get better from it. It's what it's all about. It's why these guys came here. It's how you get better. It's how a young team for sure gets better, no matter the result. That's why you have to be so process-driven right now with this young group, and it's all about competing. And we know if our guys compete, we can beat anybody. We can. So we just have to get a little bit more out of every single player, and we will. And we get through these next 8 games with some success and focus on the process. The back half should be a lot of fun.
Coach, you mentioned how a lot of these games, your goalies pulled, they're very close games. Is it kind of difficult? Is there a mental component to try to work through that frustration?
It's well, if you look at every loss last year that we had was also with a goalie pulled or an overtime. This year, so far, we've had our goalie pulled. So for me, close games, it's all about compete level. It's just finding a level of grit that we haven't found to make sure that we're not in those situations. I loved the resolve Friday and the grit to come back from 3 down and get 2 points in a shootout. And then, in games like Saturday, you're 0-0 halfway through the game again. It's anybody's game, and you got to find a way to compete your way into a lead at home and give the building some energy and some juice. And I think it's as simple as that. Just digging in and finding more compete out of every player in our lineup. That's what it's all about for us right now.
All right, well,
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.